One of the hidden mysteries or building blocks or goals of great art is that they build their language and meaning as you look onward, eventually peeling back the ideas that were brought into the art by the viewer and instead asking the audience to converse in the native tongue of the piece. Games are obvious in this way because of their interactive element, where a game teaches you to speak its language over time through completing its challenges. But all art does this. Stories will have obvious transformative moments in them, as in Mrs. Dalloway when Septimus's close narrator says, "Human nature, that is Dr. Holmes, entered the room." It is obvious the equating in Septimus's mind of these two ideas, though one is idea and one is man in the world of the story. But a subtler definition and recontextualization is that of human nature, which regardless of the reader's notions is now understood to be idiotic and harmful despite intention, according to the sections of the story tinged with Septimus's view. All art does this, slowly building its own set of connotations and even new denotations over the course of consumption. This idea comes to the forefront when it must be done actively. This we call world building, in which new denotations and connotations are constructed rapidly to create new baseline frameworks within which the more subtle acts of redefinition and meaning creation can take place. In some way, the author hopes to have you take these recontextualizations with you. That is remembrance. Clarissa, Shinji, Homura, Frisk, Temmie, Link, Zelda, Ender, Frodo, Wizard, Magician, Wand, Blade, Blood, Revenge, Tragedy, Sharks, Goblins, Labyrinth, Rakugo. Frequently, pieces require scaffolding to world building, effectively making easy entranceways into new forms of meaning. Ways to tell the reader information in context. When things are given to the reader as if they are already a native speaker of the piece's language, they often are seen as one of the following. Farcical. The outpouring of information counter to the audience's understanding is part of the humor, and rules are not to be expected. Great farce transcends this, creating strange rules which fold in on themselves as a way to further other recontextualizations within it. Example given, the Douglas Adams trilogy. Mythical. This is a story of grave and old importance in the language of the piece. You are a native speaker because this is a story told as a parable to begin understanding. There is no framework because the story itself is the framework. The essential piece to understand here is that all stories are the frameworks themselves. Sometimes, creators tap into aspects of the mythic to put you in the world. Lovecraft does when there are names dropped of beings beyond our dimension, like Azathoth, crawling nuclear chaos, spoken of in the vile Necronomicon. This feels like lore, but there is always a story, an experiential component of the narrator. New meaning are emergent through various iterations, but are singular in form in the place they appear. Take any auteur's body of work. Each piece they create has its own individual language and set of recontextualizations, even though all works they create dialogue with each other. The individual pieces are the steps of the dialogue and the different languages they speak. These dialogues stretch out across more than just a single auteur's work and extend to all art which is responding and interacting with other art. Conclusions are made with the clashing, corroboration, and synthesis of the languages of each piece. When we say something feels generic or doesn't do anything new, then, we do not mean only that which is creating something wholly new in concept is to be appreciated, as hardly anything is. And just as many things with technically original concepts feel empty or similarly generic despite their originality with a single idea. We instead are sensing a lack of a development of language within a piece. We are seeing something which our previously acquired languages completely illuminates, and so we don't find anything new therein. And if we look deeply at every piece of media which we have felt has ever given us something new, we will find that that newness is built out of the language of the story itself. We all speak as many languages as stories we've consumed and truly felt. Thank you.